Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of the Skye and Skye podcast. I am one of the co-hosts, Skye Riley, and I am joined by the lovely Skye McMillan. Skye, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And we have an awesome interview and guest today. She is 6'2", the middle blocker of the UNM women's volleyball team, Texas born and raised. We have Elizabeth Woods. Elizabeth, woo!
Thank y'all for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Thanksgiving's around the corner. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Favorite Thanksgiving dish, I would say honey ham, green bean casserole, and stuffing. And a dinner roll. Sorry, had to add that in there.
My little sister called me yesterday and she was like, Bob, because that's my nickname at home. She's like, Bob, do you guys have honey baked ham around?
Ooh.
And I'm like, honey baked ham? Who has? But we have ham. We have a honey baked ham spot around here.
Okay.
I think I might have to go mac and cheese though.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's a classic.
Yeah. Mac and cheese, I don't think you can, well, you can't go wrong, but we don't go wrong. What about you, Skye?
I have to go with stuffing. It's always been a favorite, and a mashed potatoes. I feel like you can never go wrong with those two. They're just like perfect.
Yeah.
I do like some mashed potatoes. That's always good.
Yes. So let's get into it. Liz, how did you know volleyball was the sport you wanted to play in college?
I knew it my junior year of high school, actually. I grew up playing basketball originally, and I didn't start volleyball till a very late age. So it was like 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I think I just took it on as like, let me still play it, stay in shape and all that stuff. I think sophomore year is really when I knew when I wanted to play. I think I was kind of done with the physical contact in basketball. I was like, please don't touch me anymore. So I think I'm going to stick with volleyball, but I just found my love for it. And I think junior year of high school is really when I fell in love.
Talk about the different conditioning there is when it comes to playing basketball and volleyball, because volleyball, especially as a middle blocker, I'm assuming, you're standing in front of the net with your, hands up and you're like constantly jumping up and down. Like, what's the difference between conditioning wise between basketball and volleyball?
I would say like the conditioning wise that our coaches give us, I would say it's sometimes the same. Like we do a lot of running in volleyball, like for our conditioning. And I think especially for our back row players, they're running all around the court. And then for the front row, I think you still have to have that agility to get, especially for middle blockers, have to get back to the middle of the court to go make a block move the next way and the other way. And then for basketball, especially what I played as a center, I was running up and down the court. So I already had that endurance in me. So I think I kind of like moved that from basketball to volleyball. So
awesome. What is your major and what do you plan to do after you graduate?
My major right now is accounting. I want to be a CPA, which is like a public accountant. So kind of like own my own firm and like just people come with me with their money problems and I help them out. But I've been looking into being like an accountant or working in, because I'm also double majoring in finance.
Okay.
So I was thinking of like maybe working in finance with like a sports team. So like an NBA team, an NFL team, and like being like work in their like accounting department.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you're really good at math then.
Yes, that's my favorite subject.
What made you want to be an accountant or work with money?
One of my high school friends' mom is an accountant, and I saw she was like, I'm my own boss. I work for myself. I was like, that's what I need, because I'm a very independent person. I don't really I do like teamwork. I mean, I'm in a team sport, obviously. But I think when it comes to something like that, I'm a very independent person, and accounting is a very independent like department in a field. And I feel like that just really goes into like my character as a person. So
I mentioned in the opener, you were, born and raised in Texas.
yes.
Rowlett?
Rowlett, yes.
Rowlett.
Yes.
What was your journey like to UNM from Rowlett?
It's very not different, but more diverse. I think Rowlett is very white majority. There are a lot of African American there, but most of them, like I feel like UNM too, they're mainly the athletes as well. But I feel like going from Rowlett and coming to Albuquerque, kind of the same thing, but definitely when you see Texas as a whole and New Mexico as a whole, it's very two different separate things. But I think I did make the adjustment very fast, and I kind of had to. but I'm glad I did. And I think the more I explored out here in my 3 years here, I think I've really found a love for Albuquerque. So
What made you pick UNM?
honestly, the coaches, that was my very first thing because I got recruited during COVID.
Okay.
So I had no visits, nothing. I was literally through Zoom, everything. So I was like, oh, that's a nice picture. Can I like looking at the duck pond? I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, perfect. But yes, the coach, they really recruited me and they started by talking about me as a person. They didn't go straight into, oh, let me see your stats. Let me see your highlights right away. They looked at me as the person I am and who I was at the time. And they really their commitment was to make you a better volleyball player, but also as a person. My coach always says he recruits good people who are also good at volleyball.
Yeah.
So I really like that motto because I felt like you can't come into a team with just people who are all good at volleyball and that's all they care about. You need people who, care about the outside life. And I think I really came into a community that really welcomed me in for the person I am on the outside of the court, but also inside the court and just brought me up to the person I am today.
That's awesome. I think that's very important. I think my soccer coaches definitely see if you're a good person and if you're going to fit with our team, which I think is so important. So I really like to hear that because I
Yeah.
don't think there's enough coaches that honestly look for that anymore. Do you agree with that, Skye?
No, definitely. I think, especially in the football business, well, I shouldn't even say business, but it is a business, and I think a lot of people are understanding to realize that. And when you have coaches that actually care about you, instead of, whether that be their job or their finance,
Mhm.
contract structure or things like that, them winning things like when they get to know you as an individual, as a person, I think that's, just helps the team make it better. The program makes it better. And you can't ever go wrong with that.
Yes.
And to have guys to do that. Now, that's funny that you mentioned because a lot of athletes that we've interviewed had or came to UNM with little to no,
Mhm. Like you.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a visit either.
Mhm.
I was recruited during the COVID era. And so, that entire journey, what was it like for you to make the decision to come to UNM? Like what was like the impact? How did your family help you, support you, and things like that?
My family supported me a lot through the journey, especially I committed kind of late because I actually graduated early. So I
Mhm.
committed in October and I was here in January.
Wow.
Dang.
I think one factor for me was be far away from home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an hour flight, but it's an 8-hour drive. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's far away, but it's still close enough to Texas. That was one of a big factor. And Coach John always told us Albuquerque and UNM. Definitely Albuquerque loves UNM athletics. And
Mhm.
I always wanted to be one like help the community, be a part of a great community, and especially a community that loves their athletes and the athletes love them back.
Yeah.
So
You said early enrollee. A lot of our listeners don't know what that means. So, what is it like to graduate high school early and then immediately make that shift over into college?
yeah, it was a very big change. I think going from living with your parents to living by yourself with three other girls, I think, and especially I know for other people too, you're further away from home than I was. But I
Mhm.
think especially just being away from home, living by yourself, it's a very big difference and it just teach you how to I think mature a little faster and just make like adjustments in your life. So
Going off of that, what was that like coming in the spring, especially being the only freshman in your class?
I came in with 2 other girls
Oh, okay.
so that would be spring 2021. I actually came in with 2 other freshman girls.
Okay.
Mhm.
But it was very different because that was COVID. So we were wearing masks all the time. Nothing was open. I
Gotcha.
was in my dorm room all the time. I was just like, is this how college life really is?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like thinking, I was just like, I know I made the good decision for like my volleyball career and for my school career. I was like, but is this the real college life?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You were named Mountain West Scholar Athlete and to the Mountain West All Academic Team last year. How important is it for you to exceed in the classroom as you kill it on the court?
I think it's very important to exceed in the classroom. I think we always say student athlete, and I think especially at UNM, it's a very big thing to us. I think we always have the resources and anything that we need at the tip of our fingers and a call away or anything. I think, especially during travel, our coaches give us accommodations when needed, if needed. Everyone says being a student athlete is stressful, and it is. I'm not taking anything away, but I think UNM does give us a lot of resources to make that stress, to take some of that stress off us.
You guys reached 10 conference wins for the first time since 2015. Talk about the change you've seen when it comes to New Mexico volleyball.
Over the past 3 years I've been here, I definitely see a big change. I think just first, I think it just starts off the court. I think the chemistry as all 16 of us girls as a team is just it's beyond words. I think we literally have a love for each other that like it's very unspoken, and I think that love for each other off the court comes on the court. So we always want to see each other succeed. Like it doesn't matter who's on the court, who's off the court. We all have the same love, the same passion, and we're always reaching for that one goal. So
Your last 2 games are at Colorado State and Wyoming.
yes.
How much harder is it to play conference opponents the second time around? Because we only play schools. Well, now we play them 2 every 3 years, but it's only once, in a season. You guys are playing the same conference teams, twice.
I think it's especially you beating them the first time, it's
Yeah.
definitely going to be a battle the second time. I think we always do. You always scout the first time, but we always do the second scout the second time. And for our second scout, we look back at what we did, but we also look back at their last game that they did because what they did against us and knowing that didn't work for them, they're definitely going to change it. So I think going into like the second round of playing like the same team, sometimes it doesn't feel like you're playing the same team. They changed everything. If something worked for them last time, it's probably not going to work for them the next time, and it's going to be the same for us. So
Do you have any pregame traditions?
I think for all of us as a team, we just really I feel like everyone does this. We just get hype in the locker room with the music. For me personally, I'm going to need a little snack. I get my little fruit snack. And then I have this cross right here, and I just like say a little prayer because we have a 45 seconds before every game, and I bow my head and I say a little prayer, and then it's time for game time.
Who's on Ox?
Kate.
Okay.
Kate.
She playing the bangers?
Always.
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 Are you going to be taking over next year then?
Oh, I might need to hand that over tomorrow, but if I'm called up to the podium, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay. Skye, do you have any pregame traditions?
I think actually for me, it just varies. Some weeks I do things different than others. I think the one thing that stays consistent is I have 2 playlists. I have a playlist for the day before the game, and then I have a playlist that I only start when I start getting tape for the game. And so I want to make sure that I get through the pre-day, pre-game, playlist all the way through first. And that one's just like, calming, like R&B, soul vibes and, things like that. Is in the moment I start getting tape, that's the rah-rah and all that stuff. What about you, Skye?
Actually, soccer does have a pregame tradition that we do before every game, and
Really?
it's to sing the song "Shots." I don't know if you know what.
Oh, okay.
So we actually sing that song before every game day, before our meeting. We'll sing it in our locker room or whatever locker room we're provided with at the time. And we'll sing that song as hard, as loud. Everybody's dancing.
Yeah.
When we played SDSU a couple weeks ago, our last game, we forgot the speaker. So we literally improvised and we all were singing it underneath a tent on the soccer field. There's men's soccer team, SDSU's men's soccer team playing. I think it was Oregon State, and they were playing, and we were just in this tent, and we were singing "Shots," and there was a whole crowd of people, and we were so loud and obnoxious. So that is our pregame tradition: is to always sing "Shots."
That's a song that goes shots, shots.
Yes,
shots.
yeah, that one.
Who started that?
I don't know. It's actually been going on for quite a long time, like probably 15, 20 years ago. Like it's still, like our coach, Heather, she's said that this song has been going on for quite a while. And the fact that we're still singing this song is pretty crazy. So yeah, we got to keep it going.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Back to you, Liz. I heard you guys have 7 seniors. They're leaving. And that's a pretty big deal in volleyball.
Yeah.
Talk about what you're going to miss from playing with them and the chemistry that you all have together.
Oh, wow. those 7 seniors, I think they just made a huge impact on this program. I've been with 5 of them since I've been here, and then 2 of them just came, Athena and Matty. But yeah, they're definitely, when you think of UNM volleyball, you do think of them. I think especially Kate and Shushu, Callie, Mel, like them, they have been, ever since I've been here, definitely have been helping the program be how we are right now. I think they all have like this leadership to them. They all are encouraging, their support, like they are the epitome of what you want a teammate to be. And they're all a great teammate, but they're also like great humans, just as like my coach recruited them to be, and they just show like the light, and then they're really going to leave their mark on UNM volleyball. So
That's love.
Yeah, that is. How do you feel taking that role on next year?
I feel prepared now. I think my coaches definitely have prepared me to step into this role because they knew this moment was going to come. They have prepared me to step into this role for coming next season, and I think I'm ready to take it on. I think I have took so much from the seniors that are leaving, and I've taken a lot of advice from them. I look up to them like volleyball wise and just as people. So I think I have like everything I need to be prepared to step into that next year.
That's awesome. As a 5th-year senior, I feel like that's important to hear just because I think it's so important that the younger classmen and the people younger than us are taking those things and applying it for future years so that it can just continue and grow. I think it's super important just to keep traditions and just doing the little things. And I just think that's super important. Sai, do you have anything you want to add to that?
You guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, I still, it's kind of weird. I'm in a weird predicament because even though I've been on the team for 4 years, I still find myself, a lot of my teammates are surprisingly older than me. And I don't realize that until it's their actual birthdays and we ask and they're like, oh, bro, I'm 22, I'm 21, I'm 23. I'm like, bro, what? Like, you're what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting because you have different maturity levels on the team and different folks on, especially with 110 guys on the football team. Like, it's so hard to manage all of that. But we have great guys and great people in place that have been, kind of taking on the leadership role. We don't have that many seniors on the football team, which is really surprising because most of the times you always get like 10 or 12 guys. This year so far, we only have 4. Who's, exhausted all of their eligibility. And, this is 2 weeks. Well, we have 2 games left, guaranteed games left in the season right now. So this is their last, 2 games for only 4 guys out of 100 and something, dudes. So it's very interesting for my perspective. But what do you think will be the biggest challenge for you next year in terms of leading, the group?
I think just maybe keeping everyone in check. But I mean, it's not that hard. Nobody really acts like that.
Yeah.
But I think just taking a more mature role into it. I think I'm still like a mature person, but I think sometimes like something happens and then they're just like, oh, Kate, Shushu, and Callie, like y'all got it because they're the captains. They're like, oh, like they're gonna handle it. They got it. But now next year I'm just like, oh, this problem happened. Oh, you actually have to handle that now. Just like, you got to use your words. So I think it's just something, it's just like knowing this is a team sport. So some things that like not necessarily I did or something that's going to affect the team, I'm still going to have to speak up about it. I'm going to have to address it. So, and I can't just lean on somebody and just sit in the back and be like, oh, it's okay, they got it. I'm going to have to step into that role and like take a responsibility because this will be a team that I will be a leader for. So.
You guys reached 10 conference wins for the first time since 2015. How big a deal is that?
I think it's a really big deal. I think my freshman year, we reached our first 20 overall. I forgot the time amount, but I think ever since then, I think especially the coaching staff, they all just been pushing to make this program better. Like Coach John did come into UNM saying he will make a difference in UNM volleyball.
Yeah.
And I think once we start hitting, I think that 20 game winning mark really like set the epitome. And ever since then, I think every season, every game, every match, every point, we have been making history for UNM volleyball. And I think it just shows, especially this last Saturday, we just broke attendance record.
Yeah.
And I think Kate, especially, I like big shout out to Kate. She's #1 in points and kills right now. Like that was John's Coach John's recruit. I
Mhm.
think especially bringing her in and seeing what she has done over the past 5 years really shows like what our coaching staff is capable of bringing into UNM. And Kate, amazing person,
Yeah.
amazing teammate, and as you can see, just amazing player that she'll go down in history. So I think he has brought in players that has just changed the whole UNM volleyball legacy. So
1,500 people plus, was it?
yeah, sure
What
was.
was that atmosphere like?
Woo, it was crazy. I think our average, as I said, like our average for this season was probably almost 1,000. I think it was like 950.
Mhm.
I think usually on a good day that like last season or the season before, we probably got like maybe 600, 700. We probably got 1,000 game. I think it
Yeah.
was last season, but I think this year this was like our third game with 1,000 plus people. And I think especially everyone coming out, especially for senior night,
Yeah.
I think, and Kate hitting that milestone, I think was a big deal for everyone. And I think especially getting that dub was the cherry on top. So
Wow. Lobo
awesome.
Nation showing up.
yes.
Yep.
As fall break approaches, so I just found out a couple weeks ago that we actually have a fall break, where
Thanksgiving break.
Thanksgiving break. Yeah, see, look, I'm still messed up to where we have a week off, but because football is normally playing during that time.
Yeah.
So what are you guys' plans for the break?
My plans are hopefully playing in the conference tournament.
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
Awesome.
What
Yeah, I'm going home.
about-
Yeah, I leave on Friday with actually one of my teammates because mine and Sai's birthday are on Sunday this week. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know her, Carly, she graduated last year, but she's coming back home with me for my birthday.
Mhm.
So she leaves on Sunday, sadly, but she'll be there for the weekend. And then I'm actually going to go to Seattle and watch Apple Cup for the last one ever because
Last
there's
one.
no
Yeah.
Pac-12.
100 and
So I have
something
to.
years of tradition just
Yeah,
going away.
crazy.
That is crazy.
I know. So I'm going to be there for the last one.
The last Apple Cup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. I don't know. I'll probably watch some basketball,
Okay.
maybe some football. I don't.
Do you have your eyes on any college basketball team right now?
Well, I'm a SoCal guy, so I always watch out for USC, but they have some great guys and young ladies. Juju, Bronny, LeBron's
Yeah.
son, is playing there.
Yep.
I think USC over the years, they've kind of grown and evolved into this national basketball program where everybody just tends to think of football, but basketball is really taking over. Yeah, but I don't really watch college sports like that.
Really?
No,
I think I prefer college sports over professional sometimes.
Really?
Same.
Yeah.
really.
Like
Mhm.
I am locked in on the college sports right now. Football, basketball.
Yeah.
I'm watching it all.
I mean, I don't know. It's probably because I'm always dealing with, football and, 6 to 8 hour days. So it's just like I get enough of the college, sports atmosphere, during the week. So I don't know. It's kind of hard. But you guys both like college over professional sports.
I do, yeah.
Do you have a favorite basketball team, Liz?
Not at the moment. Or see how people start doing once. I definitely think like once the competition starts rolling around, I think first preseason game they pick a little easy teams. But I think once it starts rolling, I'm probably gonna start getting a new favorite. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Skye?
I don't know. I feel like I just like I like to keep my eye on Duke. I want to see how Jared McCain's doing over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like to keep my eye on USC because I want to see how Bronny does. I want to see how DJ Rodman does. I want to
Oh,
see
yeah.
those key players. I want to see,
crazy.
I don't know. I just like watching the key players on each team and then seeing like the person that you wouldn't expect to pop out and have a good game or something. I just like to keep my eye on everything though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Elizabeth Woods, otherwise known as Liz,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on. It's been awesome. You have great, insightful answers, and obviously you can tell how mature you are and what you want to do for with your life. And on the court is just nothing but good things. And I expect to see you, blossom into this wonderful person that you already are.
Thank you so much again for joining us.
no problem.
I'm also excited to see how season will go for you next year, especially
Yeah.
being a senior.
We gonna get in this tournament.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
We
gonna
are.
get in this
And
tournament. We gonna run them. Gonna run them.
And then we wish you the best of luck in going in the next 2 games, correct?
Yes,
and
thank
then the
you.
tournament. So yeah, thank you again for joining us.
Thank y'all.